The biggest life lesson is not taking anything for granted and live in the moment. Anytime that you start getting into the stadium shows, all the stakes are higher. I mean, it doesn't matter how many matches you had, but when there's that many people there, I mean, it just creates that huge atmosphere. And the energy that people are excited because the fans get excited when they look around and they see 72,000 people and they know they're part of something special. They're part of it. That's the great thing about WWE, is like the fans are such an integral part of what we do. And so it just kind of one feeds off of the other. The fans, their excitement gets us excited to go out and do our best. And then, the fans feed back off of us. If we're tearing it down and having a great match, it just kind of works itself up into this crescendo. And, it's always special when you do a stadium show and you have it, as long as the stadium's full, which it was that night. It's not so great when the stadium's not full, but it's a good time. I don't know. I really hadn't figured that part out yet. I'm still kind of looking back and somewhat amazed at 30 years. Well, it's been 30 plus years. I've been 30 years with the WWE, but I think all total, it's been almost 34 years that I've been in the wrestling industry. And I don't think that I'm not going to be part of the WWE after Sunday. I mean, I'll always have my place. And, one of the things that really interests me a lot are, paying it forward, meaning, working with the talent that's coming up and trying to give them some of my insight and my experience. And, although the product is changing and evolving, I think there's a lot of what I did in aspects to storytelling that's missing in today's game. So I think that's where, I think I can be an asset to the guys of the next generation, guys and gals of the next generation. The fans, absolutely, the fans, and the energy and the motivation, the strength that they all give me. There's so many nights when I'd be on the road for, way back in the day, I'd be on the road for 30, 40 days in a row and come to about day 30 in a tour and not know where you're going to draw that energy from to go out there and perform at a level that you did early on in that tour. And it was always the fans and their appreciation for what we do. And for me personally, the character being so invested in it and supporting me for so long. That's going to be the hardest part for me is not walking out, hearing that music, the light going out, and then the reception from my fans. That's what sustained me for so long. I've contained myself within the character for so long. I'm creating more opportunities now to get out and and meet with my fans and have interactions, more personal interactions, with signings and different things. So I really enjoy that and getting to hear some of my fans' stories and how the character has affected their lives. So it's all that's good. So although I may not be in the ring very often, I'll still be around. One, you have to go back, like when you're thinking about your match, you have to look at everything that you've done that led up to that particular match, because obviously if you're going to have a buried alive match, there's had to have been some serious things happen along the way to get to the point where you want to bury somebody alive. So you got to kind of go back and reflect on all that. Because like I said, with me, it's always about storytelling. It's not so much about the moves and all that. It's always about the story. So you take that into consideration first, and then you figure out, okay, what is the prop, or what is it? Is it a casket, right? So if it's a casket match, then for preparation, you're like, oh, how many different ways can I use a casket to hurt somebody? I mean, then hurt them bad enough that I can, incapacitate them enough to place their body in that casket. So, those are the kind of things that you have to think about and process, and then figure out how you're going to, how you're going to do it. And, there's a lot of those matches, like Buried Alive and, the Hell in the Cells and the Inferno match. That one was, that was interesting. There wasn't any rehearsing anything on that one. Believe me, that was just out there doing it and hoping that I wasn't the one that got caught on fire. As morbid as that sounds, but I guess it fits for what I do. I do remember getting to the arena that day, and I had no clue that I was in a ladder match till I got there that day. And I was like, I wasn't real thrilled about it. I was just like, yeah, it's really not, it's not my forte. It's not what I do best. But it really did, it did put a shine on Jeff and the things that he did. And it was good because it took me out of my comfort zone, made me try to, reach for, something else that, I was like, because I wanted the match to obviously be successful, and we were fortunate that it was very successful. I'm very proud of that match. I think it might have been the only one that I was ever in. In the midst of my career, and when I'm out there all the time and I'm working all the time, you kind of get just zoned in on your performances, and you don't really think about, you're affecting people by the reaction that you get when you come out, but you don't really think about how you affect people on a personal level that you don't even know. Oh man, I don't know. It'd be pretty tough not to want to be Ric Flair. I mean, he was just like the epitome of success and being world champion, and all the things that come with that. I just always thought Ric Flair's character was, it was just so over the top, but not really, because that's really Ric Flair. But he's kind of the bar for which guys of my generation measured themselves, as far as success. And he had obviously a tremendous, and continues to have a tremendous career. So I guess it'd be the Nature Boy. That's about as far off from the Undertaker as you can get. With me, business always come first above everything else. Yes, we went out at night. We had a great time at night, but that was never an excuse not to give 100%, regardless of how you felt. And also, I think people seeing me go out and perform injured, and probably not being, early on in those days, should have probably not gone to the ring to work, and watch me go out and do what I could, because people had paid money to see me wrestle. And you know, I think people look at that and think, well, this what we're doing is not just for fun. This is serious. And you know, I think just being someone that you can talk to, regardless of who you were on the card. If you had, you know, if you had an issue or you had something, I mean, I've been around a while. I've been around a while for a while. So there wasn't a lot that I haven't experienced, or, you know, so all those things kind of come into play. But having the trust, not only of the corporate side, but having the trust of the talent, I think they appreciated where I sit in that whole, the balance of both, and knowing that you know, one of the talent may have a corporate issue, and them feeling comfortable enough to come talk to me. So that's where I started this whole thing, was trust, and knowing that, you know, if you had a problem and you really wanted to solve it, that I would do my best to, you know, I do my best to help you or give you the best advice I had, or maybe would help you get, you know, your situation, you know, resolved without too much drama. Probably the biggest life lesson is not taking anything for granted, um, and not not taking anything for granted, and live in the moment, because obviously in our world, on any given night and any given match, you're only an inch or two away from something really catastrophic happening to you. You know, most people don't think about it, and you know, as a talent, you definitely don't want to think about it. But as great as everything is, and you're on top of the world, you know, it could all come to an end. So, you know, appreciate the things that you have, and live in the moment. You know, they're here on the card, or they're here on the card, or if they're not even a talent, even if they were, you treat everybody the same, because we're all in this together. And if we're all in it together, then everything, the product and everything's going to be better for our fans. Storytelling at the root is what we do, and that's what I try to tell. That's what I try to tell the young talent. Because right now, if you watch our product, as gifted as our athletes are, and they are physically unbelievably gifted, more so than ever any other point. But what we do is storytelling, and you know, and that's the most important part, in my opinion. It's not about the wrestling moves. We use wrestling moves to help tell our stories, but it's all about that's where, you know, that's what captivates and keeps people interested in what we do, is just the mental and the heartfelt issues. Like, one of the best things that I've seen done on WWE TV recently is the feud between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. That's, to me, has been great storytelling. And people that understand, and there's people especially that understand, like, the Samoan heritage and legacy, know how important, you know, all that stuff is to them. So yeah, it's, to me, it starts and finishes with the story. Man, I've wrestled all over the world. I've wrestled just about everybody of my generation. Probably wish I'd had maybe one of my title reigns a little longer. I think one of the last times I won the title was going to be an extended reign, and I end up tearing a bicep or something. I don't remember. But I mean, really, when I look back at my career, I mean, I've experienced so much, and was able to do so much that I really, there's not a lot to look back and say, oh, I missed that, or, you know, I didn't do that. I would have loved to, you know, like I said, I would have loved to have worked a longer program with AJ Styles. I would have loved to have worked a program with Eddie Guerrero. But, you know, after 30 years, there's just not a whole lot that I didn't get to, I didn't get to accomplish, and very proud of that.